peep out of them at all. They should be seen and not heard. Well, they are kids. At least they act like them.
You said in the Rose Garden, the day after the attack, it was an act of terror. It was not a spontaneous demonstration. Is that what you're saying?
Please proceed, Governor.
It is in response to a video, a film. This is in response to a video.
Internet video that we had nothing to do with.
That was spontaneous? Was it a planned attack? Was there a terrorist element to it?
This is a response to a hateful and offensive video.
The video and its influence on the protests that occurred in Cairo and Benghazi in response to this video. It was the video that caused the unrest in Cairo, that precipitated some of the arrests in Benghazi. It was sparked by the reaction to this video. The video was a precipitating cause to the unrest, specifically in Libya. Might take advantage of a situation that was brought about initially as a response to the video in question.
Natural protests that arose because of the outrage over the video.
You are totally correct that they spent 2 weeks telling us this was about a tape and that there was this riot outside the Benghazi consulate, which there wasn't.
Natural protests that arose because of the outrage over the video.
I was in chronic pain, and my family struggling to make ends meet, food and gas prices going up, even keeping my job was iffy. Then I learned about a new miracle drug made in Washington, D.C., Spenditol. Spenditol is Washington's answer to all the painful problems Americans face. How to borrow $800 billion for a stimulus that didn't create jobs or fix the economy? Spenditol.
Spenditol is not for everyone. Side effects may include a mountain of government debt piled on our kids, a sudden loss of freedoms, higher prices for everything, leaving our kids a lesser America than we had. Ask your doctor or congressman if your conscience is strong enough for Spenditol.
And it's so popular in Washington, we have to import trillions more of it from China. Spenditol makes you feel better now and pushes off the really bad stuff till later, for them to deal with.
Call the White House and Congress. Tell them, stop spending it all.
Feeling lonely this holiday season? Looking for little human interaction? Do you want to feel contact in certain special places?
Then why not go through security at an airport?
The TSA.
TSA agents are ready and standing by to give you a little something extra to feel thankful about this holiday season.
The TSA.
What are you waiting for? I want to check under your testicles.
Spending time with a TSA agent couldn't be easier. Simply book a flight departing from any American airport. When selected for a full body scanner, say no. You'll be pulled aside by a TSA agent, and that's when the fun begins. And you never know who your agent will be.
It could be me.
Or me. Or even me.
But it's probably gonna be us. Take off your damn shoe.
The TSA. It's our business to touch yours.
Welcome to the Bureau of Womanhood Conformity. Independent thoughts are considered subversive because all must agree with our leader.
When it comes to women, preventive care should include coverage of contraceptive services such as birth control.
You see, if you don't believe government should pay for your birth control, you're not a real woman. Womanhood denied. If you refuse to accept that pregnancy is a punishment, you're denied as well.
I don't want them punished with a baby.
If you don't believe that abortions should be allowed for any reason, if you don't believe in aborting a child for being the wrong gender, and if you don't believe that stay-at-home mothers aren't real workers, you are not a real conformed woman.
His wife has actually never worked a day in her life. His wife has actually never worked a day in her life.
Finally, for your safety, if you oppose mandatory government health care, you will die.
They will be voting to say that women can die on the floor.
These standards and regulations were formed after our glorious victory in the war on women. Thank you for your cooperation and your conformity.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
President Karzai of Afghanistan. Yes, Karzai blames NATO and the U.S. for violence and corruption in Afghanistan. Huh? Or how do they say in the hood? Say what? Afghan President Hamid Karzai blamed the U.S. and NATO forces on Thursday for some of the violence and the brunt of corruption that is rampant in his war-torn country. Now, Karzai bluntly criticized Allied tactics, declaring that terrorism won't be beaten by attacking Afghan villages and Afghan homes. Well, where else are the terrorists? They're hiding. They're hiding in the villages, hiding in the homes, hiding behind churches, hiding behind schools, hiding in schools, hiding under schools. They're putting their cache of weapons in schools and under schools. They're well, not churches, but mosque. And the like, anywhere where there are civilians, they're not standing out in the open. No, the Taliban and other terrorists are not, they're not wearing military uniforms and saying, "Yes, we are terrorists. Come get us." No, they're hiding. They're hiding behind innocent men, women, and children. But you know what? Fine. Look, this country has got one of the most corrupt governments on the planet. Supposedly, and Karzai knows it. He knows it. And, he's got one of the most corrupt regimes in the West, and he knows it. So here's the deal. I say, fine. I have said this I don't know how many times. Fine. Pull out all our troops. Get them out. Just close the border so you keep it contained. You're going to have to. Well, I know we got to do something with Pakistan, but look, India's kind of on our side. All you do is close the borders. Russia remembers Afghanistan. They don't want those idiots going north into Russia. And let's face it, Russia's also been facing some terrorist attacks over the past since 9/11. Also, Putin doesn't want that crap coming up into Russia either. So, we can depend on Putin to shut down the Russian border, and we just take care of the rest. And, we'll just isolate Pakistan and Afghanistan together. Now, I'm sure China doesn't want to have anything to do with terrorists either. China would probably like to take over India and Pakistan, but they don't want to have to deal with terrorists. So just, lock him down. Just get our people out, and then you'll see who's really who's he going to blame then once we're gone. Who is Karzai going to blame for all the corruption once we're gone? Somebody sent me an email during the break. Look, yeah, I know about McAfee. Yeah, and I know about that he apparently suffered, well, there's one report says he suffers a heart attack, and there's another report says he suffered 2 heart attacks. I don't know what his condition is. The man was wanted for questioning, and he thinks that people are out to kill him. So he's more than, I think he's a little off his rocker, but he's got the man is like almost 70 years old, and he's got a 20-year-old girlfriend. Money will do that for you. Money will all of a sudden make you look like one of the most handsome men on the planet. Money will make you all of a sudden make you seem like one of the most attractive and sexy people on the planet. Money will get you the attention of beautiful women of who the only thing that they're interested in is your money. I'm going to say something a little controversial. But women of that age, especially beautiful women who are in their 20s, and they decide that they are in love with 60, 70, 80, 90-year-old men with money, with means, they're the same as a high-class whore. Because that's all they're after. I know some will say, well, no, they loved him. Really? Anna Nicole Smith, I mean, not to speak ill of the dead, but do you think when she was in her late 20s that she loved that 80-something-year-old billionaire? No. I mean, come on. So it's the same with McAfee, but his 20-year-old girlfriend was by his side when they were captured or something like that. I don't. It happened in Belize and Guatemala. I don't care. I know he's an American, but you know what? He's the idiot. So whatever. Anyway, so Karzai's not the only nut job out there in the in the Middle Eastern area, or the Near East, as they say. Looks like Syria is loading chemical weapons into bombs, and that the Syrian military is just awaiting Assad's orders to use chemical weapons. And isn't it the left that keeps saying that these countries don't have weapons of mass destruction? Saddam Hussein didn't have weapons of mass destruction. Syria didn't really have weapons of mass destruction. Iran is not trying to make a nuclear bomb. What? I mean, do I have to go back to the urban setting again? Let's go back to the urban setting. Say what? This is a story that is from NBC News at that. World News on NBC News. The Syrian military is preparing to use chemical weapons against its own people and is awaiting final orders from President Bashir Assad, U.S. officials told NBC News on Wednesday. Now, this is kind of interesting to note because NBC was one of those networks like ABC and CBS and CNN and MSNBC that were telling the American people all along that Bush lied. They didn't have any weapons. There's no weapons of mass destruction in the Near East, in the Middle East. There's no weapons of mass destruction there. They don't have any chemical weapons. They don't have any biological weapons. They ain't trying to get no nuclear weapons. There ain't no weapons of mass destruction over there. We took them all away when we beat Saddam the first time. Well, it looks like now they're reporting, and they're not going back to when they said, well, remember when we said that they didn't have weapons of mass destruction? We were wrong. The military has loaded precursor chemicals for sarin gas, a deadly nerve gas, into aerial bombs that could be dropped onto the Syrian people from dozens of fighter bombers, officials said. As recently as Tuesday, officials had said there was yet no evidence that the process of mixing the the precursor chemicals had begun. But Wednesday, they said their worst fears had been confirmed. The nerve